Mr. Matt Downer in the house. D-Man Fitty. See you too. Old Man Odin. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. It's a Sunday afternoon. Hope your day is going well to everybody out there. I just rode up 7 miles with my son. Got him a new bike this week, and it's good to be alone with him and experience nature. Can you believe that? Hope you guys are doing well on a Sunday. Tom is in the house. I wanted to do this. Obviously, last week was a huge bombshell. Was it really? Stallone married a trophy wife, had 3 kids, married 25 years, and she was unhappy. He was probably controlling and abusive. And guess what? She decided to leave, what have you, and move forward. Guys, if this is not a telltale sign of what marriage and long-term relationships bring about, you can't make her happy. Not even Rambo, not even Rocky, not even the Terminator. Think about that. AZ's in the house. Hello. At least it isn't. Now, people go, I love Stallone. I watched all of the Rockies and Rambos with my sons. Very, very solid. No cell phones in it, no computers. Very, very masculine films that if you have boys, I would encourage you to watch the original Rambos and Rockies. Guy's a badass. But when it came to relationships, what happened? Was he an alpha male in his movies as he was in his relationships? We don't know. But we do know this, not even alpha male strong men. He's been married 3 times. His first son died. I think his name was Sage 10 years ago. And then he married, that was his first wife. And then he was married a second time and a third time. Now, the third time he married, she was pretty damn hot. Let's be real. But she pulled the old, I'm unhappy. Can you imagine who she's going to get with now? Can you imagine being the guy that's going to date his ex-wife? And you're just thinking, you're looking across from her at the table going, holy shit, man, you were married to Rocky. I mean, in the last 50 years, there's been no movie star like Rocky or Rambo. You got to give it up to Sly. Hold on. Let me shout out to Men's Daily Advice. Good to see you. Check out his channel. We got Justin de Fablander. Good to see you. Tell me where you're from, Justin. We got the Rev, the Revster, the Revinator, the Reverino. Good to see Rev. Yo, Adrian! But think about it. If Rambo cannot keep her happy, and he had 3 beautiful daughters, tell me how you're going to do it. Mr. No popular, Mr. No wealthy $400, $600 million person. You can't even keep them happy. Go figure. So you're going to be the guy that's sitting across from Stallone's ex at a dinner table, and you're like, I can't compete. There's not going to be any man out there unless he has like billions of dollars. That's all he can compete in is in the money frame. But the alpha masculine frame, he's never going to compete. Are you kidding me? Every time that guy, let's just say she gets remarried, every time that guy mounts her, she's thinking about Rocky. Hopefully he was a good lover. Who knows? Rad, truth be told, once bitten, we should be more than shy. Men need to run from LTRs. Once bitten, twice shy by the great, great white. Good to see AZ. Sly is going through another divorce. I hope he learns at 76. I hope he does. I hope he does. And I like Sly. If you know his story, the guy has a speech impediment. He's 5'6" or 7. He wrote Rocky. I mean, that guy, men first. That guy was on purpose. You got to respect him. And he was the right place at the right time. America needed a Rocky. We needed a Rambo. But his personal relationships, a shit show. I remember Sly dodged another bullet from a previous time. A young chick tricked him into believing a kid was his, but found out he was banging multiple men and the kid wasn't his at all. Oh, I'm sure that happens all the time, Men's Daily Advice. It's got to, especially with that popularity. Never play with the odds when the odds are always on the side of women. Well said, AZ. Shout out to men's guys. Check out Men's Daily Advice. Ghost Lachlan is in the house. Check out Ghost Channel. Ronald McDonald. How's your weekend going? Just did a ride with my son. Had a nice hour and a half ride up to the mountain. Place called Elephant Rock. Came down. Then we got In-N-Out Burger. Utah has In-N-Out. Good to see you, Ronald. Illinois. We talking Chicago originally? I've been out to Skokie. I know a little bit of Illinois. I do not fly. I hate flying into O'Hare, though. Got to fly into the other one. All action movies should lack human emotions and focus on task orientation. That would be great. I think Terminator's more like that, right? If Rocky couldn't do it, how much more? For me, no chance for me, says Polo 25. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, guys, tell me how you are going to... This is something that people have to put in their brains. If all of these guys, Brad Pitt, Schwarzenegger, Tom Cruise, well, Tom Cruise is he's out there, Stallone, if they can't make it work, Michael Jordan, how can you make it work? Rad, did you see Sly's new tattoo redo? He did. He covered her face up. Good for him. And he put a dog on it. Could that be a quasi under the covers shout out to the bitch? Maybe it was a female dog he put on his, which is also known as a bitch. Sometimes the promise of her golden parachute payout tempts her into believing she could be happier. 40 to 80 is a long time. He will be fine, says Ghost Lachlan. I would agree with that statement. Bolo from Canada is back. Good to see Bolo. R is in the house. Why compete? It's unnatural and unmanly. Steve McQueen, guys, give nothing. If everybody's out, if people are thinking that you're going to get something in return, think again. Kevin McAllister, guys like Sly can afford the loss. They lose more money, but they're still going to be rich anyways. It's middle class men and lower class. I would agree with that. He's going to be fine financially. He's dealing with 3 kids, though. Hopefully she doesn't turn him against them. Typically they will. Well, at least 1 or 2 will be against the dad. I stay AZ in New York City, ascetic from marriage and cohab, better to be Zeta than a high-value divorce simp. There's so many high-value billionaire divorcees that seek another goddamn relationship. Well said, AZ. Shout out to Ghost Lachlan's channel. Billy the Goat's in the house. Good to see you. The legendary John Boston is making an appearance. Thank you, John. The whole damn judicial system is on their side. $1 for us brothers and 70 cents for them. It's their way of equality. Justin De Fiblander, laying it down in Chinatown. It is stacked against you. Do not go to court. I'm giving you, John Boston and I are giving you massive, Mr. Hemi, D-Man 50. We're giving you advice. Stay the F out of court. You don't want to be there. I don't care how alpha you are. I should have get some In-N-Out Burger when I was out there at SLC. Dude, you're coming out in September, I think. Let's get some when you're out here. Rev's out, killing it. I'll win Brian 777. Yo, good to see you. Tell me where you're from. She divorced him because Sly wanted another dog. That's, you know what? People say, oh gosh, what happened to your divorce? Why did you get divorced? It's always one straw that breaks the camel's back, and that had to be it. I think she just went into menopause and she went nuts. That is my version of the story. I mean, come on, Sly Stallone, that guy's a badass. Have you seen him at age 76? He's got bigger muscles than both of my arms combined. He's a successful, he's probably the most well-known movie star in the last 50 years worldwide, maybe 60 years. John says Rambo wasn't holding frame and neither was Rocky. Rocky now finds out he's fighting Drago again, but in the family courts. Ooh, well said, brother. Well said. He's fighting Drago again. Drago. Mysterio from Winnipeg's in the house. Good to see you. Stay on that 36. Do 2 36s a week and you'll be fine. I think that'll knock you out of baseline. She cashed the check that she was holding on for years for a rainy day. D-Man 50, laying it down in Chinatown. Well, I hope he had a prenup. He's probably smart enough to put a prenup together. but she also is entitled to whatever earnings they earn as a married couple. A prenup only allows you to stop any sort of money grab before you were married. Anything that happens during a marital, unless they have some weird contract, anything that happens the day you get married to the day you divorce, that woman is entitled to 50%. Unless there's some sort of agreement. Justin says, Skokie, that town's a dump. I would say so. There's some good bands out of Chicago. Material Issue, I loved them back in the 90s, but Jim Ellison, the lead singer, killed himself over a woman. No surprise. You got Smashing Pumpkins. You've got Urge Overkill. You've got, geez, who else is out of Chicago? Quite a few bands. AZ says, Rad, you are so rich, man. Bless you for being here. Stay divorced. I'm never getting married, never cohabitating, never going to have kids or take on anyone else's kids. My kids are hard enough. Taxi driver had Travis Bickle and doesn't believe in romantic love. I don't believe in love. Romantic love is lust. Let's be real. It's 3 chemicals. I'm going to say it again. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. If you believe in love, you believe in chemicals. Chemicals wear off. It's lust. True love, loving somebody for who they are, is a different story. It's like, you can love someone, but being in love is bullshit. I don't care who you are. Court is a wealth transfer facility. There is no justice there, just a bill we men pay. Ugh. Love that, Ghost. That is exactly the truth. Justin says, another dog. No. I'll win. Brian 777 from India. Court is not that bad in here. Well, that's a good thing. But stay out of marriage, my brother. Towards the end of marriage, I was in Texas. She was in KC. She wanted me to visit her to show that I love her. Ooh, conditions. She's a conditional lover. A direct flight 3 hours later, she said she was just calling my bluff. JJ Framo 123. Good to have you in the house. No surprise. Never follow their ultimatums, ever. Number 1 rule of Rad, one of Rad's rules, never fall to their stupid ultimatums. Tuning in from Grand Junction, Colorado, says Lucas. A couple hours outside of Vernal, Utah. I've been to Grand Junction. Good to have you. Mysterio, both Sly and Arnold could not keep their wives, and they were considered alpha. Alpha in appearance, maybe alpha in work ethic, alpha in the gym, but massive beta. Well, you know what? Let's look at alpha. Arnold married a Kennedy. The odds were stacked against him from day one. You can never satisfy royalty. Prenup doesn't mean a thing. Lawyers work around that too. Stay out of court. Yes, they do. Skokie for 500 Trebek. Scott and Skokie. I try to stay away from those airports. There's too many people for me. Pitt, Bezos, Gates, Dr. Dre. There's another one. Stallone. Proof being rich and high value may count for dollars, but not much sense. Ooh, that should be a bumper sticker right there. Dr. Dre, the original, the OG, the gangster, NWA. She ain't the one. He goes through divorce, almost dies because he has a quasi-stroke. She put him through so much stress. What kind of frame does man need to get over it? See, men, this is why these channels are so important. It doesn't matter how strong you are. Society has conditioned men to cave with women. Who's Jennifer going to get now at 50-something? That's what I was saying, Mysterio. Imagine you're dating her a year later, Stallone's ex. She's looking at you. You're not even strong enough like Stallone. You haven't been through 60 years of making movies and killing it and being Rambo and Rocky. You have no chance. This woman is absolutely delusional. She's not going to find, she's going to be single the rest of her life. Go Sure is in the house. Mysterio, I'm going to tell you what happened. Exactly what Greg Adams says in the marriage will. Contempt came about, familiarity. She wanted more attention. Stallone's been making multiple movies in the last 10 years. He finished that Rambo, Rocky. Did he finish the Rocky? Yeah, he was doing Creed. And he's got another one coming out. So he's continuing on his purpose. She's raised her kids. She's bored. And menopause popped in. That's what I think happened. Menopause. Who are the biggest group of misandrists in the world? Not feminists. Men hate other men and themselves. Marriage equals misandry. You're onto something, AZ. You're onto something for sure. Raymond Gross, MGTOW making progress. I just think we help Raymond. We just help guys realize that there is a life outside of trying to constantly make somebody happy. Look, I got 3 kids. Yeah, I couldn't even make my kids happy. How can you make another? Those kids were flesh and blood of mine. You can't make women happy. The only person you can make happy is the one looking back at you in the mirror. What do you think about Tate? He got banned from TikTok. I've seen a couple things of Tate. I don't have a lot to say on him. I've seen a couple of his MMA fights. I've listened to a couple things he said. The only issue I have with Tate and a lot of these young guys is they've never been through divorce. They never had kids. They've never been through a family court system. They have no idea what child support, alimony, divorce, what the real situation of, they can walk away from relationships. They can make a ton of money because they have no kids or wives to deal. I mean, I think they have value when it comes to some sort of, helping younger guys. Absolutely. And I think a lot of what they say is on point, but they just don't have the experience to back it up. That's my only issue. Sly is what John Wayne was from the 30s to the 70s. Well said, Mysterio. I bet those fantastic guys were nice or shed one tear, then got the shit test. I agree with that. Doesn't matter how strong you are, spot on, Rad. I know that's the keys. I mean, you can't make a woman happy. Tell me how a man keeps his wife. From 1980 till now. We'll go pre-1980, you had a stronger chance of staying married. But 1980 till today, good luck. Good luck. Your strength ain't going to be nothing. Why would a woman not want to sign a prenup? Well, they look at it as a lack of trust, is what I hear. She needed an excuse. She stopped loving him or having feelings for him years ago. The dog excuse with 100%, Kevin, 100%. Again, guys, I'm going to say this again. Familiarity creates contempt. Contempt destroys the relationship. You cannot come back from it. Romantic love is lust. And when people say they're in love, let's see the love down the line in years when the newness. That's what I'm trying to say. Mysterio just laid it down in Chinatown. You cannot maintain that level of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin for more than 2 weeks. It's going like this. If true romantic love existed, we would all still be with the women we either married or were in love with. Case closed for 300 Trebek. I find MGTOW cope because ask yourself, if all hot women wanted you, would go MGTOW? Probably not. I've seen a lot of hot women with ugly dudes. However, I think you have a point there. I think a lot of Chads are beta. I just think they play the role. This is how their personality is. But I think people say, Chads, Chads, Tyrones, Pookie Ray Rays. Those guys most likely were raised in single mother households. They're just playing a role, and they get their asses kicked too. They can cut in line when it comes to the normies, right? That's all they can do. Patriots won. Thanks for that comment. There aren't many straight-faced males in the Hollywood game anymore. That is the truth. Good comment, Matt. Well, yeah, there are no. Who's the greatest hero right now? I mean, Tom Cruise is whacked out, but come on, Top Gun was a good show. The first and the second. I got to respect that guy, even though he's whacked out with Scientology. Who knows if he's Skittles, but at least he takes his craft very seriously. Other than that, who can walk off the screen and walk into real life and be an example? Nobody. Marriage is a stupid system. It was used in the past to keep women faithful to one man. The whole no-fault thing just made the whole system pointless. Couldn't be closer to the truth with that statement. Great statement, Kevin. How to keep a wife? Just maintain frame, bro. Hey, bro. Maintain your frame. Frame, you know what? Frame will exist the moment you walk through those divorce court doors and you walk through those metal detectors and the court officer is there. Frame's still good, man. Trust me. Ray and Knight in the house. Where are you from, brother? Can't remember where you're from. At least Stallone can make a new movie of Misandrous Men, The Disposables. I know it would be. The Expendables has turned into the Disposables. He's probably happy that he's done with her. She was probably nagging for the last 23 years. Chad and Tyrone's are all just one bust away from a baby trap, says the Sentinel. They usually go bald and fat once having to pay child support. And guys, come on. Chad and Tyrone's, all they're doing is slaying women. They got tattoos, maybe a couple earrings. They wear their pants below their waist. You know, they've got tattoos. But in the end of the day, they're no different than us. The Sentinels in the house. I think you saying MGTOW's coat for lack of hot chips is your coat for making FIFAs your center and source of validation. What a beta chump. No, I think you had something. I think if guys had hot chicks throwing themselves at them, would they be MGTOW? Depends if they knew the information beforehand or they had the experience. I look at really hot chicks and I look at them. This is what I look. Man, I'd love to see what they look like without their clothes on. But I know how horrible they will be in bed. I know they're boring as hell. And I know the only thing they give importance to is what they see in the mirror. You can never, ever compete with hot chicks. Why? You don't want a hot chick. Hot chicks are for the magazines. That's all they're for, guys. Would it be great to lay with one and experience one? Sure. Come back and tell me what it's like. I guarantee you it ain't going to be freaky. Mysterio says, I will be doing your 36 fast change up to 2 days, and I'm trying to eating 3 to 9 or 11 and weekend. I think if you did Mysterio 136, try it this week. Just do 136 and then be normal the rest of the week. And then the next week, do it. You're going to see massive improvement. Bad marriages happens to average men because average men have limited options. So it's his change. He just marries what he gets, and it usually ends bad. Well said, brother. I agree with that statement. Less is more. Keep it simple. Men don't need a lot to be happy. I wish, Raymond, that every man knew how amazing minimalism is. Minimalism is wealth, if you really think about it, because it takes your mind off things and puts it back to where it should be, you. Great quote. Miami, Florida, South Beach. Spent a lot of time in Boca and Weston. Been out to Cocoa Beach and Vero Beach for work. Great place. I don't know how you guys work out there. I'd be on vacation every day. Fresh and Fit and Tate and gang are not in reality, Mysterio. Their audience is different. Their audience is different, right? Just younger guys. They're not married. They never had kids. They've never been through divorce court. So obviously the message will be different. Define menopause from your perspective. They're emotional hurricanes you cannot control based on hormonal deficiencies. Last week, a video came out of a boyfriend outside of an absorption clinic pleading, don't delete our baby. Absorption is deletion. Let's be real. Get a 4 out of 10, get her some boobies, get her some spa and makeovers, get her in the gym, and voila, 7 out of 10. I know a buddy of mine married a gal, probably 5 out of 10. She got bolt-ons, and they're happy. They apparently have a wonderful sex life. I wouldn't say I have all hot chicks throwing themselves at me, but enough, and I reject them all. I know the risk, the reward, and have my eyes on real goals. Guys, at the end of the day, if you've laid with a woman, after you bust nut, you're tired. We all think the same. We just like to just be left alone. We'd like quiet solitude. Our body's now recuperating from the expulsion of our man superpower. And once that happens, we're back to thinking what's next on our agenda? What do we need to accomplish? So yeah, there's a lot of value in this, right? To Ghost Lachlan. I asked this before, what are we naturally born, beta or male? Good question. I would say we're born alpha, but we're conditioned to be beta. If average men says, yeah, I go MGTOW, I don't need no woman, but if suddenly hot women want him, he would quit MGTOW. Absolute, 100%. If you had 10 Victorian models knocking you, wanting to be with you, you'd quit MGTOW. Well, most would. Polar bear predator. I won't read that. They're all filthy 304s. Miami has turned to trash. Florida is okay generally, though. Yeah. A lot of 304s out there. Cruz came down on his crew for COVID. Is that alpha? I think, well, he definitely wanted to be on point and on, obviously schedule. But yeah, he threw a fit. He got angry. You don't do that. You lay it down in Chinatown and you let the chips fall where they. So I think he went beta when he went Karen. He did pull a Karen, or as we could say, a male Karen would be considered Larry. I have a conclusion. I feel bad. I believe simping is a conspiracy. The laws in voting is BS. Internet is making clear that government is a systematic fraud. Family court is just 100%. Brad, Philly on minimalism. I'm only taking a carload of Shiat with me to Atlanta. Going to live real Spartan for the next 6 to 8. Dude, you got to do that. Check out Rev's channel. He's got good stuff. Rad, you're on a roll. You look energized with your 5 o'clock shadow. You're a GI on. Thanks, Mysterio. Didn't know you were live. Yeah, it happens. I've seen men. Thanks. Jawara is back. Good to see Jawara. He's going to go out to Turkey and take care of his mop. He's going to keep his dreads going. Shout out to Jawara. I've seen many men buy her bolt-on 6 months later. I'm telling you, if you have a girlfriend, I've known this forever. If you have a girlfriend or a wife and you buy her boobs, you just basically set the next guy up. She's done with you. Pain is the educator. Everyone hurts differently. We learn from what hurts us the most. Ooh, truth, B-O-M-B right there. Bolo laying it down to Chinatown. It was only scheduled 10 or 15 minutes before Jawara. Our Rock Esquire, we're all one wink away from the plantation. I think you're right. Rambo could not keep her happy because she had personal trainer. Wherever wife has personal trainer, that marriage is counting its days, says Betty Saab. Well said, brother. Well said. The more I see fake up on women, the more I find them less attractive. Again, less is more, right, Mysterio? Stallone totally brokenhearted, says TMZ. Potentially. Rejection's tough. Rad, do I fear being alone at old age? No. Go read Old Man and the Sea. Monk mode is good to see you be free. Monk mode is a good idea since sex might not hurt men. They just take your time and may transmit diseases. The cock carousel guy is loaded with emotional baggage and diseases. Post-nut clarity is undefeated like the wall for women. Well said, Big Dick Dane from Denmark. Our Danish brother. D-Man 50 in the house. Check out Rev's channel. Y'all should be subscribed. Stallone may have to pay out $200 to $300 million. We'll have to see how he's structured because he could have quite a bit of that money within S corps or corporations or trusts based on those Rocky and Rambo films. We'll have to see what happens. 90K on head sounds insane. That does sound insane, but you got the money, take care of it. If the average man who went MGTOW suddenly wins lottery and have $1 million in the bank, he would quit MGTOW and use the wealth impressing women. I would say 98% of all MGTOW brothers would do that. Rusty Rivers is back. Good to see Rusty. Shout out to you, brother. The average but true MGTOW knows what a risk is and have deprogrammed themselves and recentered. I could never go back to marriage, in love, and cohabitation and that crap. I don't care how much money I have. It's not hard, guys, when you really pull back the covers and realize what male nature versus female nature is. Now, am I saying not to hang out with women? No, I never said that. Rad still hangs out. Die alone is not a threat. It's a reality. We all die alone. Well said, Bolo. May have to go bald like CT Fletcher or pay 90K. I just say go bald, man. Black dudes look great bald anyways. You know that. Emotional baggages do not heal any wounds. I know this because I've been there, but no more now. Me too, Matt. Me too. You practice semen retention, or are you just smashing casually, says James. I take my time and I'm very discreet. But I think less is more, if you think about it. Some might, a true practitioner of the philosophy wouldn't. Well said. Well said, Rev. How much are your razors, Rad? Oh, my razors will last one goes for like 4 to 6 weeks because I wash them off and I dry. You got to dry your razor off when you're done. Wetness will dull is how you dull your razors. He can afford it though, Joara. It's worse for a man making 30 to 50 a year to get divorced since it's hard to live on 15 to 25 when she's getting half. Yep. I agree. I'm 7 years old, was married 4 times. Jeez. Wow, Amarok. I have stayed single by choice for the last 14 years and I have never been happier. We get a lot of guys that come into this channel and space that have been married. They're older. They've been married 3 times and they realize it. It might take us, a couple times. We didn't have this information 10 years ago. So if 2% of women are workable for long term, what's the reverse? What percentage of us men are compatible with women? So many books have been written about that, Mysterio. I think our compatibility is completely incongruent with women. We're just different. They are different. We're different. It's just not marriage. You are also risk getting sexual harassment charges if she gets pregnant. You pay alimony. Well said, Patriot. Well said. Men, listen up to that statement. This is a good age for 2 to 5s out of 10s. If you're a nice, feminine, submissive woman, you can find yourself a 6 to 8 out of 10 guy because the majority of 7 are walking CPS cases. Truth be told by the Sentinel. It takes time for men to get back to normal after putting forth effort in a long-term marriage. Work on yourself and find peace. There you go. CT Fletcher looks good bald. What about Rad? What about Rad? We all look good bald. Bald is beautiful. I'm at Crossroads, 35, single, no kids. All my friends got families and kids and just flex them on the IG. I get lonely, but I love my freedom and don't desire it. Is this normal? James, do not get married, do not have kids, and do not cohabitate. You are in the perfect age right now to enjoy life. If you invite a woman into your life and have kids, it's not going to be the same as what you have today. Do you find Andrew opinion funny or truthful? Ronald McDonald. I've listened to a couple. I don't have a huge Rolodex of videos I've seen from him. I do like some of the things he says. The only issue I have with the younger guys is their experience. They lack it. Redneck Red Pill's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hey, you're still here, though. That's all that matters. $40 for a new set. Lasts me 3 to 5. Ooh, there you go. You got the Clippers. That's why. Seeing Dirty Honey on Monday in Winnipeg. Dude, Dirty Honey. Love those guys. Old, just like your band Rival Sons. Mysterio. Hopefully they're open up for them. Leave what used to be the opposite sex to their own demise. They gone. Now freaks with tats, freaky kids, and big mouth and debt. No co-have, no unnecessary talk. Big Dick Dang laying it down from Denmark, 100%. I have been bald since I was 21 years old. That's 29 years ago. Child support is something to keep in mind when laying with women. There's a lot more to that as well. Well said, brother. And when a woman divorces a man that's middle or lower class, it makes him less attractive for future women who see you as poor. Again, what do you have to bring to the table? It'll never be enough. Digging the melon. I have a bald head, guys. I think that your channel has not gone because you don't sweat much and your cadence is calm. I think that Wes is to adjust to get his Mysterio. Wes is great. I gotta follow up with Wes, see how he's doing. The grass is always greener until you find out it isn't. The grass is only greener where you water it, right? Our brains are wired for human connection with others. It's good to be alone sometimes, but it's not good for your mental health to be alone all the time. That's why you got to get your buddies. Got to hang out with friends that like to do the same thing. Mr. Hemi is in the house. Everybody stop, collaborate, and listen. Hemi is back with his brand new edition. That came from 1990 by a rapper in Texas. Clippers versus razors? I like razors. I clip my beard in my 5 o'clock shadow. I never take it down. I've been blessed 30 years old, never been married. I don't have any kids and still a virgin. I feel lucky. You dodged bullets, my friend. There's nothing wrong with being a virgin and not being in an issue with kids. And a lot of guys think that something's wrong with them if they've never laid with a woman or had kids or been married. You're actually ahead of the curve if you think about this. We're telling guys, don't do this. It's not in your favor. I started going bald at 17. I'll make a video about that one day. I think I was around that same age. I remember watching my pillow rev with hair falling out, and I just knew it was like by 19, 20, it was like so thin. No amount of money or female looks could sway me from MGTOW. Understand female nature. Well said, Raymond. I paid 3 years over the limit on child support, and the judge told me not to collect from the baby mama. It's worse than you might think. And again, pay them on a check basis when you're supposed to. Don't prepay in advance, all that crap. You pay them as your decree talks about. Problem with modern relationships in the West is that women are programmed to go party and hook up. And even if they're married, they feel entitled to, you go, girl. This is promoted in media. It's promoted in Real Housewives, reality TV, or 100% Patriot. Marriage relationships in the 21st century is a mugs game. Good for simps, though, who are asleep in the matrix. Let the simps take over. Big Vegas 05, he's back. Much love from Jersey. Keep the heat coming and catch the live stream. Welcome, Big Vegas. Been a few weeks since we've seen you. Had the presence of Big Vegas. He's out in Jersey. Should a MGTOW man consider buying a house or just continue renting that studio or one bedroom? I would not buy a house today. Our economy is whacked out. Find a place that you can rent that you can get out of quick if you need to move. A few years ago, I'd say probably buy a house because rates were fine and everything, but not today. Bald head and bald ass. What's the diagnosis, Rad? Can I be fixed? Hey, if you're bald, be part of the bald army. We're trying to get Jawar. We're trying to recruit him to the baldness. Did you know that rapper was born on Halloween? We talking Robbie Van Winkle, Vanilla Ice? I did not know that. Culture collapses of 3 generations once sexual freedom is embraced. There is reason Islam is conquering Europe. At this level, culture is taken over by another culture with greater social energy. Guys, the only societies that last are the ones that build families, that remove debauchery, that have a structure of pilot and co-pilot and submission by women. That's it. That's why Islam will continue to move. That's why the Middle Eastern countries are not going to fall to Western influence. Western influence has destroyed families, has destroyed relationships, has put women ahead of men in their minds. Guys, that is not a recipe for success. I have no problem with women being successful. I have a problem with them becoming men and men becoming women. That's what, mentally, emotionally, and physically. That ruins societies. If you don't believe me, go look at Rome. That happened 2,000 plus years ago. The debauchery, the homosexuality, the Skittles movement happened in Rome. The rise of the female power structure. It destroyed itself. Do I think successful women are great? Sure, as long as they play the co-pilot role. That is what they are meant to be a companion to the man who is creating. If anything is imbalanced because the man becomes very female or the woman becomes very masculine, it's over. Feminism has destroyed society based on that. Stealth camping, Bolo, good for you, brother. If you are virgin and you absolutely hate it and want to lose it, then pay a professional worker and then walk away. It's literally no different than marriage. Kevin is laying it down in Chinatown. If you have that desire, go to Reno, go to Mustang Ranch. At least they take care of themselves and they actually put out a good product. Rad's never been, never need to go, but if you need to do that, I'm sure they put out a good product. This is their base. They're clean. They know how to take care of a man, please a man, so you come back. The problem for men is that most of us crave fleshly desires. That's our Achilles. Absolutely. Testosterone is a very difficult drug. Robbie Van Winkle, you know it. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Simping and men dating single mothers is the biggest problem in the current culture, says Dark Minds. Couldn't agree more, brother. Good to have you. Absolutely. Rad, can you figure this out? Why are single mothers much more masculine than their sons, who often are nail polished and long-haired? Because they're trying to take place of the man. They're trying to show that their kids that they can be the man as well, and they can't. Simps are the enablers, says D-Man Fitty. 100%. Stop picking up the pieces of broken family. Stop picking up the pieces of broken family. Yeah, we don't want to take care of broken families. It's not our job anymore. A MGTOW bought a 5K Home Depot shed and converted it into a tiny home. Love it. Do you know how much space I live in my house? Probably 200 square feet. Once single mothers started to be venerated, it was all over. Yeah, they got the power. Bible is written by humans, and humans are created to lie. Patriot 1. I've caught all the playbacks. I've just been working, living the dream, and staying focused on my inner being and never giving my power to that simp life again. Good for you, brother. And this is what these channels do. Help us all remember who we are. We're strong men. We've been conditioned, though. We have to break through that barrier. My heart goes out to you. I'm 51, married once. I have absolutely no interest, not only marriage, but also LTRs. They can go kick rocks. There you go, AZ. The greatest book ever written on the subject of female is the Bible. Changed my mind. Corinthians, Paul talks about it. Go read Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. Rad, your Crimson Capsule awareness really just sharpened your life, and you're on year 8 of it. Yes. Yes. The only thing I'm a little upset about is what it did to my kids. Star Wars Episode X, Rise of the Skittles. the Revster, the Revenator. Adrian, Sky was in a movie that foreshadowed his future. The Expendables, indeed. Jerome Markel from Brooklyn, making an appearance. Good to see you, brother. If I could go back in time, I'd stealth camp or live in a van, saving 80%. Oh, me too. I'm waiting for that time machine to come back. 1996. Please come back, time machine. They deserve nothing but our indifference and pity. Well said. When men are in power, populations grow and skyscrapers rise. When women are in power, populations die off and go back to grass huts. You ever heard that story that if men were removed from the planet for 30 days, the earth would be destroyed in 2 hours? And if women were removed for 30 days, man will have invented time travel. I'm just reiterating what something was said. Going on a diet will decrease sex drive, and you'll also get abs. And fasting as well. Rad, what's your opinion of a single mom being interested in me? I know I shouldn't date a single, but I should still smash. Just be careful. I would only look at her as a potential partner of horizontal stature. 2 to 3 throws and get out. She's looking at you. She's going to, what's going to happen? The boy Kent, tell me where you're from. What's going to happen is she's going to endear you and show you that you're a man and everything, get you to lay with her, and potentially want you to be her partner. That is how it goes for 99.9% of them. Prove me wrong. So if you know that, be very careful. Have a couple of rendezvous with her, and then let her know you're not interested in kids. The conclusion of this stream is no one can keep her happy. Well said, brother. And that's what we're getting at. Sending Rad a pic of MGTOW brother who built an off-grid hut. I think you might have sent that to me. I think I remember seeing that, but it looked great. Bald, my friends. My hair started receding at 19. Mine was 17, high school. I love hiking. Hiking is wonderful. It makes you think, get some energy, makes you move. Fire up the DeLorean. John DeLorean for 300 Trebek. There's an interesting character. From Cape Town, South Africa, 22 years of age. Who's out of South Africa that's really popular? Rodriguez, that artist back in the 70s and 80s. They did a documentary on him called Searching for Sugar Man, and they found out he was like huge in South Africa. South Africa. Do you speak Afrikaans? I was at a wedding and there were Skittles there. Did their parents create them the way, or were they that way? I think society has been a huge impact of the Skittles movement. TikToks. We were just talking last night about some gal that whose daughter is 12 years old that thinks she's a lesbian. I mean, how do you know at 12? You might, but the amount of divorce in this country today, I have absolutely no problem at all living a single life forever. Guys, I wish you'd get in my head and realize what divorce was and divorce court and marriage and how extremely challenging it is, not only for the normal dude, but for the rich guy like Stallone, the wealthy people like Bezos. You can't keep them happy. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter how many tennis bracelets you buy them, how many special vacations, how many Lululemon outfits, how many kids you give them. You can't make them happy. That should be the number one red pill rule of all time. David Castro's in the house. Good to see you. I can't say that, AZ. I don't want them to flag it. Thinning air and receding is depressing. It is, but it's reality. It's reality. You're fine. The whole world's bald, half of it. My kids were the ones that took it the hardest when the ex destroyed our family unit. I tried to make them understand people grow apart. You know, no matter how difficult it is, you always have to respect the mother of your kids, regardless of what she did to you as a wife or what you did to her as a wife. You have to respect the fact that she birthed the kids. Now, she was a great mother, great. If she was a useless, you still have to respect that. I completely believe you never talk back. You never talk bad about the mother, ever. If you're going to, again, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Jawaris is a Buddhist. No one can sell marriage or purity. I'm a great salesman. Jerron Markel. He's pulling out the Korg this week and he's going to put some beats together. Woman kills her baby and government says it's not life and her right. Isn't that funny? Father caused her to miscarry and he's charged with the deletion. Government speaks with two tongues. Tell me who's in charge in this situation. Would it be the man or the female? What did your divorce do to your kids? Are they weary? Hey, absolutely. The only thing I can say that would make any sense is when you look at my kids today, there's like a light out. Like 80% of their lights are out. That's it. That's what I've noticed. A woman can be both a mother and a father at the same time. So I've been told men are obsolete, they say. I've heard that a bunch. Aloha snack bar. After going through all the court system, cheating, TikTok twerks, now I see my Sharia exists. Why Sharia law exists. There you go. I mean, it could be. And they've seen it. The Red Pill Lion. Have another person paying your way. Red Pill Lion. Does Red Pill Lion have a channel? I think so. One and done. Guys, if you've been married and divorced, don't do it again. Prison is better than marriage. At least you have time to yourself. Most men are prisoners in their own marriage. Go figure. Redneck, what days a week is your stream schedule so I can... it all depends, man. When I get the idea, I just jump on, my brother. Okay, so if Rambo wasn't good enough, maybe the Predator will. Matthew in the house. Good to see you, Matthew. My last ex said the words, gonna have a mental breakdown if I don't go on this vacation. Ooh, the manipulation game for 300 Trebek. I don't think Stallone or Arnold are the most faithful guys. They've had a lot of affairs. I would agree with that. I would agree. The brother said prison better than marriage. There you go. I don't speak Afrikaans and Zulu. Ooh, Zulu. That's even cooler. The Boy Kent. Welcome, Boy Kent. A Zulu warrior. I love it. Love that watch, Rad. You've had it forever. Look at that. It's a Casio G-Shock. Love it. It's been multiple countries with me. It's $80. I bought my son a sand-colored one. He loves it too. Can't agree more. Let them know they are loved by both parents. Agree. Females live longer than males because they don't have to deal with the wife. Tell that to the lesbian marriages. She's trading Rambo for some Rambone with Tyrone. I think it's in the ether consciousness now. These women believe that even in their 50s and 60s they can divorce and they're going to have little Tyrones. You know, whatever. It's happening. Look at Scottie Pippen's wife nailing some like 22-year-old, right? Anyone see what happens to George Foreman after 50 years? And Gary Busey. A lot of them. Sly and Alpha and Arnold are alpha action stars, but I have no idea if they're a good family. I think they're beta males when it comes to relationships. I mean, you look at their past, right? Women are supposed to liberate man by intimacy, food, clean house, mental massage. Now she suffocates him with his last breath. Well said. Who actually wants to get married between the sexes? Women. I can tell you what time it is, Rad. Yo, what time it is? Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel. George Foreman facing accusations. Women can go back 50 years. Yeah, what? And how legit are those inquiries or accusations? Rev says that a Casio with a calculator built into it, the black one. You know, I could never get that damn calculator to work because like my fingers were too big. Every time I did like two times 10, I would get like some whacked out number because I couldn't press the buttons. But hey, kudos to Casio. Men only want to marry to have kids, although I have 2 friends that are married that did not want kids and they were in their mid-20s. Correct? Feminism is getting worse and worse year after year. What modern feminist girls are doing is if you don't have an iPhone, then they will not talk to you. 100%, man. Women, if a woman does not have an iPhone, red flag number 1. I'm going to cut this live stream short. You guys have been great. Women are like roller coasters. The wait is long. The ride is short. And there's a line of men behind you waiting for their turn. So enjoy the ride and move on. Well said, the red pill lion. Love it. And George Foreman has like 15 children that we know of. You guys go make it a great Sunday and move your energy. Could never lay with a lady of the right. I would just be wondering how she had got to that decision. But I would know that if 100% had to deal with bad upbringing, very likely to be a single mother. 100%, brother. You guys go have fun. We'll shout at you later. Men first and continue to move on.